it's Missy from Missy's Imaginings. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be opening some Rainbow High dolls and see if they're wonderful. I've seen them in the stores. I really do think they're cute. I like the size. I like that they're articulated, but I haven't purchased any. I almost did a couple times, and I always brought myself back to, no, I already have too many dolls. But I thought this line in particular was really cute. So I thought we'll open them up and see just if I like them as much as I think I will, and which I probably will, and see what their quality is, because I've only ever seen them in the packaging. I've never taken them out of the packaging. And these I will be opening. I won't be leaving them inside. So here we go. The ones I chose are from the Shadow High line. So here is the little fella. And then the little gal I chose has the black skin, the dark skin, which I love the contrast of her makeup on the color of her skin. I just thought that's fantastic. And of course, if you've watched the channel very long, you know I also have resin dolls in like a peach skin, a blue skin, and a black skin, all resin. And they're all the Miro doll 70 centimeter. But I really like the way that the painting and stuff shows up on her. I think she's just really, really cute. And then this was the only fellow in this series. The other guy, I really liked his hair. He has more than normal clothing aesthetics, but I like the shadow ones. And there was one other gal, I think they're on the back, yes. On the back here, it has the pictures of them. And I don't know if the other one I liked is on here. Oh, I think it was this one down here in the front. I debated between this one and this one, but I kind of like her the best. So we will go ahead and open these and then see what we think. So we'll start with the little gal. And the other reason I did like this guy is because he has a lot of accessories. He has more than the other fella does. So it just looked like he had a little bit more in the packaging for the money. So now I have to figure out how to open them. And it looks like this box is already torn. Yeah. So hopefully they're not returns. It doesn't look like anything else is opened. And I like her fluffy dress. I thought that was really cute. So let's get at this part. And maybe I'll go ahead and be quiet for a little bit while I'm opening the packaging. Just because we kind of all know what it is to open a package. As far as opening plastic and undoing tape. The dolls all out of the main box. So now comes the fun of dislodging them from their holder section of the box, which it looks like it's taped up a lot in the back. I'm not sure if it's going to have the same the little plastic tacking that Mattel often does, but we'll go ahead and I'll get these out of this part and then we'll continue our observation. All right, so here we are with our two dolls, and I guess I should know their names, but I don't. One is Chanel, so I think that's her, and this is Ash. Chanel and Ash, I guess. So that's who these two are. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the doll itself and the articulation. Right off the bat with both of these, what I do really like are their eyes. I love that they have an inset glass-like eye. I don't know that it's really glass, but it is a real clear dimensional plastic, or I don't know that it has I think the iris part looks like it's a decal on that's inserted underneath the plastic, but nevertheless I really do like that quality. I think for the price point of these dolls that's a step up. I really like that rather than just a painted eye, because I've even, you know, seen Barbies that are along the same price point and they just have a painted face. So I really like that about these dolls. I like their dimensions. I like the size. It's just something a little bit different than the normal shape of Barbies that I grew up having. And I love that they're articulated. So she has wrist articulation and elbow, and then of course at the shoulder, then her knees. I'm not sure about the ankles, so I think it feels like her feet are fixed, which is okay because she has high heels. And so she has double jointed knees. It looks like the elbows are double jointed as well, and her head does move. I would hope that that doesn't get floppy over time, but I'm not going to be doing a ton of moving her around. There is a little bit of stiffness in the hair, only on one side. So let's see if that will comb out fairly well. There is some indentation from being in the packaging. The little elastic band has put a dent in her hair, so that might be able to be heated out over time. And like I say, I'm not sure why it's like plasticky, like glue in her hair only on one edge. Not sure what that's about. She does have little earrings that are really pretty and removable, so those are cute. And I love the painting on her face. I think the detail is really nice. Very nicely done. And she also has all the pretty little details up here from her hair, which I like. It's all in one ponytail. I would be curious to know, if you take the ponytail out, if her head is fully rooted or if it's just a big blank spot. Let's see if, I don't know if I could even tell from here. My lighting, it looks like it's fairly rooted fairly well. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I was a little girl still, I would want to be able to take out the ponytail and have her hair down. But all in all, I really like her shape. She does have little silver painted underwear. There we go, little silver underwear. And then she has what usually I've seen it in the BJD community, they call it the mobility thigh right here, where it can turn so her leg can swivel. And then the hip joint goes out, flexed, or forward and back. So it has a very real range of movement there, which I like. It looks like her torso is one piece, so there's no bending in the torso. So all in all, I really do like this doll. I like her dress is really, really cute. And for the price point, I think you're getting a really good quality product. I think they're really cute. So, and I've waited and waited. I've kind of held off on getting one, thinking, oh, you know, I've already got so many dolls. But I really do think they're cute. And I love her shoes. Little stiletto heels are really cute. And yeah, I do like her. I think she's very pretty and very happy with this. Now, she did come with other accessories, the first being her comb that we unboxed. And she has a stand. And she brings along the other box along as well too. So let's see. Let me take a look at the stand here. Looks like it's 3 pieces for the stand. And so let's see. And what's in her other box? She has another little set of clothing. Seriously, these are supposed to be toys, and it's just a whole battle to get things out of packaging. Like, is that totally necessary? I don't know. So, her extra dress comes on a clear little plastic dress form, so that's cute. So you can see how it would shape to the doll, so that's really cute. I do like that. And then this one as well has a little form that it goes on. So will I be keeping that? I don't know. For now I will, because that's kind of cute to have a little form. But I like the little silver, and then the jacket has little puff sleeves. So that's really cute. That's a lot of detail, and the little zipper, a little tiny zipper on the jacket. That is a lot of detail in these little clothing items. So I have to say the quality is here. I am very impressed, especially for the amount I paid. I think one, maybe it was her, I think it was like $19.99. Seriously. So for $20, that's a lot of quality, I think, in my opinion. To have a doll that's articulated, she has pretty hair, pretty details, inset eyes, an extra set of clothing, and a stand. So yeah, that's a really good price point, I think. And I love her little ruffly dress. I think it's just adorable. And I know to make a dress like this, that's a lot that goes into making that, and to getting all the little ruffles onto a sleeve. That's just a lot. That's a lot to do. So yes, I do like this. I like the quality. The top stitching looks nice. It's got added detailing back here. I can't tell if they're seamed. It looks like it is seamed together. So to be this tiny with that kind of detail, very good price. The same on this little guy's coat. Let's see. It looks like, is it a snap? Yes. It actually closes with a snap. So I don't know that the zipper works. No, it does not. And the zipper on her jacket does not work. So it's just the teeth that have been sewn on to either side, and then a tiny little pull has been sewn on to give it the look of a zipper, but it's not a functioning zipper. Still, that's a lot of work to even inset the teeth there. Has cute little buckles placed on with little embellishments on his jacket. It says Shadow High on the sleeves. Very cute. His hair is got a lot of product in it. The one thing that is very common with toys is I don't know why they have to stab the plastic tabs into their head. I don't know why that's necessary. Because it just is a pain to try to get them out. And of course Mattel does it on all theirs too. And it's just like, why? Why is that necessary? I don't know. It does look like he has some hair residue stuck inside his neck. So we can pull some of that out and trim it off. Not a big deal, but just makes it a little messy. I like his little pants. They have little pockets on the side. And I like his little reflective parts on his pants. Cute little shoes. D-O-W. I don't know what that means. I don't know. But they're cute shoes. So I like his little face. He has a gray skin that I think, again, is because of the Shadow High theme for this particular series. And then let's see, we can take off his jacket and see what his shirt looks like. Let's see here. So it's a t-shirt, which is really cute. And then his additional outfits. Now he can stand better on his own because, you know, he's got flatter feet. And so you can kind of distribute the weight a little bit easier than the high heels. She might need her stand. But it feels like his torso also is one piece. The mobility joints in the thigh. Yes, I can feel, I think I can feel that. Let's see. Then the knees are going to bend. Yep. So I'm not sure about his feet. Now it looks like he has, I don't know if I can get his shoe off. Let's see. Oh no. Which I need to do it because of our next part of our video here. But okay, so he's got cute little socks. Oh, those are cute. And let's see, let's take off his shoe. And he does have jointed ankles. So he does have the movable joints at his ankles, which I do like. And then he also is, it looks like, is built with a double joint at the elbow. I don't know that it's actually like an extendable double joint, but or that the hinge is just placed up in the elbow and then the bottom is the only part that can move. So I could have been mistaken on hers as well. But the knees, her knees were double jointed, and I'm not sure about his. But I like the t-shirt. That's really cute. And his hair looks like it's rooted to do like a faux mohawk that does come down in the back like this, and then the sides are done with flocking so that it'll stay short, and then it just all goes away from his face, and it's got a lot of product in it, but that's okay. If it ever got like really messy, I could just trim it up to what I wanted it to be, because I think if it got really messy and you trimmed it really short, it would still look really cute, because it looks like there's plenty of rooting in here for the top of his head, so that's okay. So I do like this little guy. I think he's pretty cute. So my camera stopped recording at one point, so it's maybe better that you didn't see the battle of me trying to get all these pieces disassembled from the little plastic form. But it's because of all the little tiny tacks that they have holding everything together. And so these pieces were tacked to the shirt, the sleeves were tacked to the shorts were tacked to the leggings underneath, and it's really sad because there are a couple dents left, and I'm just hoping that it doesn't create a hole, and because there is a little snag where those little tacks that they use all over the clothing can damage the clothing pieces. So that's not my favorite thing. But this little outfit has a t-shirt, a jacket, the leggings and the shorts, and another pair of shoes. So I thought all in all he was a really good investment for, you know, I think he was $26. But there are two, like a pair of pants, a pair of leggings, a pair of shorts, two t-shirts, two jackets, a pair of socks, and two pair of shoes. And then he's got some earbuds, and at least they look like earbuds to me, or AirPods, whatever they are, and then a comb and a stand. So he came with a lot of items for the $26 I think that he was. She was, like I say, I think about $19, and so she has the dress she's wearing, pretty little bow in her hair, and shoes, then another skirt and top, and then a little over top, and another pair of shoes. and a comb and earrings. So I think they come with a lot of fun items for the price that you're paying. And to make all this, that would be a lot of work. It would be a lot of work. And so I think they're a very, very fair product for the amount that they're charged. The only downside, like I say, is having everything so tacked to plastic and tacked to each other, and then having to dig those plastic tacks out of the back of their heads, which is, you know, Mattel does the same thing. So it's just not the best thing in my mind, because you risk ruining clothing or hair or, you know, something else trying to get all that stuff out. But I do really like them. I think they're really, really cute. And I do have one more coming, the little green space looking girl. I just thought she was really fun. So she's going to be coming a little bit later. But I thought, now that the dolls are open, because I'm not going to preserve them in their packaging, I'm getting rid of a lot of that packaging, I am going to go ahead and do a body wrap and make a basic pattern set for each of these dolls. So if you have any of the Rainbow High dolls, you'll be able to use that basic pattern set to make clothing for your dolls, because I believe they're all the same size, unless you get the juvenile looking ones, or maybe that's a different brand altogether. I don't know. But I think the guys have the same body, and I think all the girls have this same body type. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap them like I do BJDs. So I thought we could go ahead and get that done and then draw out the basic pattern set. Remember, if you print out a basic pattern set, that will only produce, like if you sew it together, you're only going to get a really tight bodysuit. They are not clothing patterns, but they are like a template from which you can design your own patterns. So if you want them to be fuller in the sleeve or fuller in the legs, you would add that width to your pattern pieces. But it gives you a guide that's made from the actual body of this doll. So if you want to design clothing, you can. So we'll go ahead and they'll have to be disrobed so we can go ahead and wrap them, and then take those wrapped pieces and use them from the actual doll to create a basic pattern set. And we'll add that to the website. So if you want to make clothing for your Rainbow High dolls, then you can use that as your template. So we'll go ahead and wrap up this part of the video, which is a resounding yes. I do like them. I think they're very worth the price point. I think they're adorable. I love all the details, and it will be fun to get their patterns ready. Although I will say competing with this level of product would be difficult, because these are extremely detailed and wonderfully made. So yeah, it'll still be a fun challenge. So we'll go ahead and move on to our next section. The first part of making a basic set for the dolls is pretty simple. It's to take pieces of just regular kitchen plastic wrap and wrap the doll, and then wrap the doll again with tape. And some people use like masking tape and wrap the doll and then draw on the masking tape, but I don't like to put adhesive directly onto my dolls. So I use the plastic wrap underneath the tape. So I just get little sections and then wrap with tape. And then once the tape is all on the doll and covered, then we'll kind of come back and take a look at how I draw the lines on to actually divide up the pattern pieces. So as far as wrapping the doll, I've done it on a couple videos and kind of explained it before as well. But if you don't want to go searching through all of those, I'll kind of speed up the process. So first we'll go ahead and start wrapping. Now that the dolls are wrapped, the next part is to draw on where I'm going to cut, or the edges of the pattern pieces. Now on both of these, you may have noticed while I was wrapping, I did wrap the entire top of the torso, but only one leg and one arm. And then I do wrap all the way around the neck, just because it holds everything secure so that I can make the pattern part, which is only going to be half the neck, but it just holds it secure. Because the arm and the leg, obviously, just by reversing the way it's laying, it's the same on both sides. On the torso, however, I like to do two different types of pieces. Oh, it looks like I missed a little bit of tape here. And that is to have a bodice that is either pieced together or that simply has darts. So what I'm going to do for the torso, the top part, is draw a line down the center, and then on one side I'll actually draw a line from under the arm to the tip of the bust and then down the front to create that side front piece, and then a front piece. On the other side, instead of drawing that entire line to divide those pieces into two, I'll simply put a line that needs to be where the sewing line would be for a dart, and then when you lay it flat, that opens up, and then you can add the difference in to make the dart. And I'm turning it a little bit here and there just to make sure I've gotten everything. I'm seeing a few little shiny spots. So if you see me add any more tape, it's just because I notice there might be spots that don't have tape. But that's going to be the next part, is to actually draw on. I'll draw the underarm seam here, around the shoulder, around the neck and the collar, on the side, the waistband, the center of the crotch line, and the inseam to create a front and back piece for the legs. And then the back piece, because these dolls are so small, I'll probably, well, she's pretty curvy. I might do the same for the back. One side will be a one piece with darts. The other side will be divided into two pieces. That way it just makes it nicer when you want to make different types of garments. Then you already have the pieces you need to create those designs. I kind of like to do the same for the fellas because on some jackets it has that side front piece, and on most dolls they're not perfectly flat. They have a chest that comes out a little bit from the sway part of their back, so you do have to allot for those curves. And so doing the design that way on the pattern makes it nice for when you're trying to fit pieces so that you know it's actually going to fit your doll. So our next section will be to draw the lines and then to cut this from the doll. Now, because this is the hardest part is cutting it off of the doll without messing up your lines. So I do have a pair of very, very tiny scissors that I use. I also like to use a blade, and it's not the X-Acto brand. The brand that I have is an Olfa, so it's, a lot of people just generically call them X-Acto knives. I like the Olfa. It has a smaller blade, so there you go. This needs to be done by a grown-up because it is a very sharp blade. So I like to use this. You just have to be very, very careful not to scratch your dolls, and protect your fingers at all times while getting this off. But sometimes under the arms or around the wrist where parts are really tiny and really tight, it's hard to get the scissors in there, and so sometimes I will use this. But be very careful. Even grown-ups need to be careful when you're working with a craft knife. So there we go. We'll go ahead and get the lines drawn on and cut these out, and then we'll look at transferring these pieces to the paper. Now that the pieces are cut off the doll, we have all the little taped forms that are going to become our basic pattern pieces. So when I do this, you have to allot for the fact that they're very curvy and kind of adjust as you lay it down, because you want your pattern pieces to be plenty wide enough as if those curves were all the way spread out. So if I start with the back piece, this would be the crotch seam. I'm going to come kind of straight down, not real straight, but kind of straight. And I'm going to come out and I'm going to give a little bit of edge away from the taped plastic wrap. So I'm not going to put my pencil right up against it, because I want to allot for the fact that these are curved and there needs to be some give there. And then I'm going to come in a little bit for the crotch seam. Then I'm going to kind of angle this down to get my center line kind of as straight up and down as I can, but still I'm staying away from the edge just a little bit. I'm sorry that my hand is kind of in the way there. And this is a very curvy line because these dolls are very curvy. And I'm going to come down here. And then when you're placing it on the paper, remember you're going to need to put a seam allowance. Now you don't have to add the seam allowance, but I always do, because it's a reminder to me that I don't want to forget a seam allowance when I make an actual pattern. So now that this is in place, I'm going to try to keep this anchored and then kind of smooth this out so that I get enough space allotted for that piece. And then I'm going to, again, I'm not going right next to the tape, but just a little bit, maybe like a 1/16 of an inch away. It's maybe 1.5 centimeter or millimeters, kind of, and it's going to be kind of rumply. So here we go. We'll go around this edge. Here we go. And again, I'm following and I'm kind of laying that out so that I can make sure it's wide enough. So you kind of want to press it this way because you don't want that piece to be too narrow or none of your garments are going to fit. So we're going to come around here and back down to the ankle. And then I know it was a little short, so I'm going to add just a little bit of length on the bottom. About like this. Then bring this side down. Okay. Now, I'll fill in where that dart was, where that line separated as I laid it down. And then here we've got kind of a wiggly line on the hip, so I'm just gently going to smooth that out, round it out a little bit. And then here I'm going to give, not come in quite so drastically. There we go. Add the curve. And you notice how the calf measurement is different because the inside of the calf and the outside of the calf are different. There we go. And this is my back piece, and I might add just a little bit more to the crotch seam just to give a little bit more room there. Then I'm going to close the top and then add where the sewn line would be, or the center line, and then these are my sewn lines. Then what I like to do is sometimes you can just leave this curvy and that's fine, but I like to go ahead and straighten out these pieces as if I was actually going to make a pants pattern. And here's where you want to be really careful, because remember, you can't go from like the widest part of the hip just to the ankle, because then the calf won't fit in there. And let's see if I can angle this a little bit more. Here's hoping. So hopefully this will show there's a curve right here. And so if I just go from the widest part of the hip down to the ankle, the calf is not going to fit. So let's put our camera back. There we go, and here we'll angle that a little bit better. So what I like to do is I like to come from the widest part of the hip to the widest part of the calf and draw that line, and then don't come straight down but angle a little bit in, and it will make the ankle a little bit wider, but that's okay because the bottom of these need to be able to fit over the heel of the doll. And the width of the ankle, I'll grab our doll here, the width of the ankle is much smaller than the width of the heel to the front of the foot. And so you know your pant legs are going to need to be at least this wide so that you can get it onto the doll. And so I like to come in and just kind of even this out, straighten it a little bit, making sure my widest parts are accounted for, and then come down like this. So it makes my ankle a little bit wider, but it kind of straightens out the pant leg measurement there, or design. So it gives a better pant leg. Now, if you want a really curvy bodysuit and you know you're dealing with some really nice stretchy fabric, then you can go ahead and make it curvy. But more often than not, that's not what people are making, because even this design with straighter legs, if you use a stretchy fabric, it's going to be stretchy. So then the next step is I like to put on a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So here we go, we're going to add that. And here again, I'm just going to use my straight edge to kind of even that out a little bit. Now this one was a little bit curved, so I'm going to come up to about the widest part of the calf and then kind of angle up. And then we'll follow that curve. Like so. Put a line on the top. Close that in, and then add our length, our seam allowance to the bottom. And here we have the very first basic piece for the Rainbow High girl, and this is the back piece. But now we can use this as a template so that we can draft other things to make designs for our dolls. So if we want to make bell-bottom pants, we could come out here and then make it real flared. Or if we wanted like a stovepipe pant, we could come straight down, get to the widest part of the hip and just come straight down to make a stovepipe type of pant. So we can use this as a template for all of our other drafting. So I'm going to go ahead and continue getting these pieces put together, and then of course I'll follow the same system for the little fella. And then once we get all the pieces done, then I'll go ahead and have those ready on the website. So here is our basic set of pieces for the Rainbow High Girl. And I did want to show that I do two versions of the collar by taking the little piece that actually was on the doll. One, I trace with the center front in the middle of the piece. So that way if I have like a turtleneck or a faux turtleneck collar, something that needs to fasten in the back, I have the center front in this piece for drafting. Then I take this and I flipped it around with the back in the center in case I need a collar that's designed to have a front button-up shirt of some sort, or a collar that connects in the front, and then the back is at the center of the piece so that it can be designed. So I usually do both types of collars in a basic set. So I'll have to fit those onto my paper so I can get all the pieces on one sheet. But this would be the process I use to draft a basic pattern set, and then I can use these pieces to design all the outfits I want to make for the dolls. When I go ahead and trace the seam lines that are inside here, I will usually I do the outside edge with a wider Sharpie. That's my cutting edge. And then on the actual piece line, I use a narrow Sharpie, and I will go ahead and I will include the curve of the actual leg in case you might need that for your design. And then I'll also include the straightened edge that is the cutting line. So that way you do have that. If you have a light table, you can just put this under your paper and have a little bit more of a contoured guide if you need it. And but that's how I go about making a basic pattern set. So here's all the pieces for the girl. I just need to transfer the colors onto the page. Here we have the pieces that are the one piece front and a one piece back, and then we also have the two piece back and the two piece front, just so that you have them for drafting purposes. It makes it easier depending on what kind of a design you want to have different types of pieces. So there we go. Thanks for coming along, and I will see you next time. Happy sewing. Bye.